I'm born intersex, but I prefer the term hermaphrodite to describe myself. Even though I was born healthy, the doctor decided to practice a female assignment surgery on me. For them, my genitals were considered unacceptable. I feel this stole my identity. It's at the age of 39, when I start my medical exam, to be able to transition from female to male, that I was informed that I had been born intersex. Even my parents were told to keep the secret. I wonder what would have been my life if I had grown up intact, hermaphrodite. I could not even tell you if it was done right away after my birth, the first week, or even the first year. I don't know. I have no detail about that. My mom never told me. She doesn't want to talk about how it happened. It's very difficult for her because in my childhood I suffered so much not knowing who I was, where I was going, and what was happening to me. I think my mom suffered from a lot of guilt. I started using drugs around 12. I ran away from home and stayed in and out of the streets till I was 21. Well, it's not easy to live in the streets of Montreal because it's part of a wealthy country. No one expects to find the street kids. Anyway, all of this is part of me, but I don't want to get out of the subject. But all of this made my mom worries even more because I was not in school, not knowing where I was. I think she felt ashamed for having kept the secret for so long. My childhood, I don't really feel comfortable talking about it. It's very painful. I'm shaking, trembling just thinking about it. At the age of 12, my body was betraying me. I started my period and I felt betrayed. When my mom said, "Oh, you're becoming a woman, your tits will become larger, you will become a good-looking woman." And that is when I start to hit my tights so that they no longer grow larger. Screaming, I don't want. So I have met the razor blades and I cut a lot. I paint my body in an incisive and painful way, but this time, I was the one controlling my pain.
Celle-là, je pouvais la contrôler.
It wasn't my body anyway. I felt like it didn't belong to me. Each time I had sex, I was leaving my body, like I felt numb. Like I couldn't be inside my body. I didn't feel anything. Then I went to explore a little more of my fantasies. I started to work in a dungeon. I was practicing BDSM. Then I was there for over 5 years. Being a mistress was a relief in the dungeon. I had my slave and submissive. I was also giving workshops for couples on various topics such as rope bondage and so on. I had this lifestyle for a while, till I could not take it anymore. It was too much to live as a high femme with the corset latex outfit and especially my boobs. All the pressure that I was putting into myself to be the perfect woman. Ugh, I couldn't take it anymore. So all of a sudden I quit the lifestyle and I moved with some friends on a farm in Saint-Tite. Surrounded by nature, I was able to disconnect. I was a good space to have an introspection, to reconnect with my soul searching.
Et avant mon départ,
And I
je
remember
parlais
saying
avec
to
des
my
gens
friends on the farm that
que j'allais
eventually I will do a
transitionner
transition.
tranquillement.
Even if at that time I was around 35, 36 when I spoke about it. I
Puis
told
là, j'en
them
peux
that
plus.
I could
Je
not take it
voyais
anymore,
Sonny
that I was seeing
comme
Sonny
je
without
voyais
breast.
Sonny avec le
I
dos
told him
droit,
that I
tout ça.
couldn't wait to see Sonny and to stand up straight and feel proud of who
Quand
he
j'étais
is.
dans...
That
J'arrive dans le
each time I
miroir, là,
look
je
in the
vois les
mirror,
boules, là, je vois
I
les
saw
fesses, je vois la
myself without
poitrine,
boobs,
je vois la
without
face, je vois...
breast.
C'est comme si en dehors de ça, j'oubliais ça. Je
And
pouvais
then
me
in real
promener
life,
comme
I
si
kept
j'étais moi.
forgetting that
Il y a
indeed
des gens qui
I had
me
those
rappelaient à chaque fois qu'ils s'adressent
boobs,
à moi
that
comme
I'm
quoi
Sonia, a
je suis
girl, a
Sonia, je
woman.
suis une fille, je suis une dame, je suis
Oh
madame.
yes.
Ah oui,
Oh yes, oh
c'est
yes,
vrai,
it's
c'est vrai,
true.
c'est vrai, c'est vrai.
Oh
Quand
geez, pretty
c'était
weird
vraiment bizarre
situation.
comme sensation, comme feeling.
I moved back to Montreal and got a job as a cook. Meanwhile, I started all the long step to my transition.
Ça m'a pris tout mon
It took all
courage
my
pour y
courage
arriver.
to get to the point of
Dire, moi,
saying, I want my
je veux cette
identity back.
identité-là, je
I
veux
want to
m'avoir
see
dans le
my own
miroir enfin.
reflection in the mirror.
Je veux
I
faire
want to
en
be able
sorte
to
que
walk in the
ça soit
streets
dans
and
la
to
rue,
look in
que les
straight into
gens dans la
people's
rue
eyes. All the windows'
me
reflection became like a
retrouvent
shadow.
de
I was
voir
afraid to look at my own reflection.
J'ai pas de
I
miroir
don't
chez
have
moi.
any mirrors at home,
J'ai un
only
miroir
one from the pharmacy
dans ma
cabinet,
brosse à
from
dents,
where I pick up my
en haut du lavabo.
toothbrush, and I don't
Pas de
have any
miroir dans la
mirrors
cuisine.
and never had.
Je lui ai fait enlever mes seins. Donc, j'ai un top surgery,
I had
une
my top
reconstruction
surgery
du
2 months
torse
ago,
faite
and
pour
now
moi.
when I look in the mirrors,
Moi,
I
quand je
see
me
who I
regarde dans le
am.
miroir, je vois qui je suis. Avec des
With
parties
genitals
génitales
that you can call
féminines. Je
neither
regarde
female or
mon
male,
sein, je
and I want to
vérifie
keep my
mon
vagina,
sexe
my
tel qu'il
sex
est.
intact as
C'est
it
plus qu'un
is.
complexe physique.
The
On va plus
identity is
loin que
not
ça,
just about your body, it's also how you get
comment
looked
on
at,
regarde,
how we
comment
approach you.
on
All your
son
social
rôle
role
social
is guided by it.
Donc, guidé par ça. Aujourd'hui, ben, je sais pas pourquoi tout
Today,
est
I don't
si
understand
compliqué
why
de
it's so
vouloir être soi.
complicated to be
Moi, c'est ça
yourself.
qui
I will
me
never
rejoint.
come here today to talk
Je serais
in
pas
the
venu
documentary if
parler
it
de ça
was only
aujourd'hui si
medical,
c'était juste des
science-oriented
médicales,
bullshit.
médicales et que, bon,
What
j'avais
am
le
I, a
sexe et tout
freak?
ça, là. Je veux dire, c'est
Do
quoi
you
cette
want me to drop my
affaire-là?
pants? Show me
Je
yours.
fais descendre mes
I'm
culottes,
so
moi, pas
sick to
étienne.
get all
Je suis
these
pareil.
questions
Moi, je vais demander
asked.
ce que j'ai dans les culottes.
What's
Moi, je veux
inside
pas
my
me promener à demander
panties?
quelle grosseur
I
est
don't
ton
go
pénis,
around
quelle grosseur
asking
ton
which
pénis.
size is your
Je
clitoris and how's
dois, ben
doing
oui,
your
on doit te le
penis.
demander vu que c'est un
No, but they
phénomène.
can ask me because I'm a phenomenal freak.
Fatigué,
Damn it,
c'est
it
pas
gets me
ça
sick.
que excusez.
I don't want to swear, I'm so sorry. The first time I've met Melanie, the director of the movie, I was very hesitant to participate because I was thinking of my mom, and then I told myself that I had to break free.
On s'est
Faites
rencontrés,
même pas de
tu sortais d'une opération. On s'est rencontrés il y a 1 an.
Ouais.
As-tu des miroirs chez toi?
Oui.
Yes, yes, of course. For my 30th birthday, my mother offered me a huge standing mirror. So now I'm able to look at myself dressing up, and I'm not avoiding my reflection anymore. And there is nobody dysphoria.
Regarde dans le miroir. Mais je suis content, j'ai hâte que tu la rencontres vraiment. Là.
I needed to know everything about Intersex. The shooting helped me to get out of my shell. It was our first meeting, and Cathy never had the chance to meet another intersex person before.
Oui, enchantée.
Ça va bien?
Merci de nous recevoir.
Ça fait plaisir. Merci.
Il cachait. Puis on dit, c'est un petit gars, vous allez l'élever en gars. Ouais, mais vous voulez pas être avec les gars. C'était pas mon monde. C'était pas mon monde du tout. On m'en allait avec les filles. Là, on me reprenait, on me ramenait avec les gars. Non. Je retournais parce que je sortais de la classe. Là, on m'en allait au couvent. Parce qu'en avant du couvent, c'était le petit collège pour les garçons. Là, ils me rentraient là. Je repognais la porte, je me retournais de l'autre bord. L'année d'après, j'ai recommencé l'école, ça a été la même affaire. Jusqu'à temps que mon père arrive. J'ai eu affaire à rentrer dans la classe. Je me suis agré une volée, puis tout, puis ça a brossé. À un moment donné, moi, ils m'ont cassé mon caractère, parce que de 5 ans à 12 ans, ça a été l'enfer. Fait qu'à 12 ans, moi, ils avaient toutes mes ongles sur le dos, puis ils ont cassé mon caractère de fille. Puis il y a boutique, puis il va travailler, puis il travaille, puis il travaille.
Fait que ça, c'est ça que t'appelais ah ouais, dans la boutique?
Ouais, mais ça, c'était bien plus grand que ça, là. Ça allait jusque là-bas avant, là, jusqu'aux arbres. Qui continuaient, là, dans le temps. Ça allait jusque là-bas, là.
On fait des portes, on fait des fenêtres. On a des fêtes m'écœurer.
C'était ma machine qui avait travaillé dessus quand j'avais 12 ans. C'était le fun parce que ça marchait.
Aujourd'hui, je ne regrette pas d'un sens parce qu'il y a après un métier. Si t'as pas de métier, aujourd'hui, tu n'avances pas. Quand j'ai parti, c'est parce que j'étais plus capable de vivre ici. Il fallait que ça. J'étais plus souvent en fille qu'en gars, des bouts. Puis je vivais les deux. Ici, c'était un petit village. Il fallait que je m'en aille. J'avais pas le choix. J'étais allé en ville. Donc, il était parti 28 ans de temps. Le jour, elle a travaillé en gars, le soir, elle était en fille. Le suicide, c'est pas mal de clés rouges, t'as ça dans la tête. Que je sois encore là aujourd'hui, c'était quasiment un miracle. C'est quasiment ça. Là, il dit ça va sauter quelque part parce que je savais qu'un jour, ça sortirait. Malade, pensait de crever. Là, il savait, là, il dit que là, ça vient de sortir. Donc, on est dans l'ambulance. Là, j'étais à terre. L'ambulancier était assez vite parce qu'il m'a demandé qu'est-ce que tu prends. Ben, il dit je prends de l'estradote. Il dit tu dis pas un mot, t'as 10 mots. Il dit je t'emmène. Il savait c'était quoi.
C'est quoi l'estradote?
L'estradote des hormones. Je suis remonté à l'hôpital, puis faire une prise de sang. À 9 h le soir, ils sont venus m'avertir, ils sont venus me dire que j'étais XXY. Dans le temps, moi, je ne savais pas c'était quoi, ça. C'est quoi, ça? Dans ma tête, ça mange quoi, ça? C'est que là, tout ce que j'ai dans la tête, j'ai-tu la même chose que Myriam, ma soeur? J'ai-tu la leucémie? Puis là, j'ai voir c'était quoi XXY, savoir c'était quoi. Après ça, oups, que tu vas dire ça, voyons donc. Là, il était aux archives, il était chercher ce qu'il y en était là-dessus. Là, c'est là que j'ai d'avoir la vérité un peu. Puis pas toute. J'ai 2 baptistères. Un du 12 décembre, un du 18 décembre. Parce qu'ils m'ont opéré le 17, puis le 18, puis là, ils ont refait un autre baptistère.
Ah, c'est ce que t'as récupéré à l'hôpital, là?
Ouais. On m'a voulu bien des affaires qui ont changé, qui n'étaient pas ça.
Bronchopneumonie.
C'était pas ça partout. Il n'y a rien eu au poumon de ma maudite vie, moi.
Je sous-signée par la présente autorise les médecins et chirurgiens de l'hôpital de Sainte-Agathe à faire tout ce qu'ils jugeront nécessaire en tant qu'examen, traitement ou opération dans le cas de Serge Berthiaume le 17 décembre. Tes parents n'ont pas signé.
Elle ne pouvait pas signer, elle n'était pas là. 3 jours, 4 jours, ils l'ont mis dehors. Elle n'était plus là. Les autres, ils se sont permis de faire « I don't know, pas savoir ». Moi, ça ne marquait pas en bas. Qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait, je ne sais pas. Je ne sais pas. Personne ne le sait, on ne saura jamais.
Dans le temps aussi, ma révèle à 10-11 ans, faisait de l'automutilation. Il y a des marques en haut dans le plafond, je peux te les montrer. Moi, j'ai commencé à 10 ans, j'ai d'arracher ça.
Assis-toi là. Couche-toi sur le dos. Mettez des crochets, mettez une corde, puis essayez de me l'arracher. J'ai commencé à l'âge de 11 ans. Ouf! Je prends des crochets, puis je tirais, puis essayais de m'arracher
Le pénis?
Je suis ramassé à l'hôpital 3 fois.
Je sais pas comment tu fais pour revivre ici. Vraiment, là, ça me touche.
Mais pourquoi qu'on t'offre si longtemps ça? La peur, la crainte. C'est tout en bas là-dedans. On va être passé par quoi? La honte de la famille. Tout en bas. T'as beau te poser des questions, il n'y a jamais rien qui arrive. T'es pas... Là, tu sais rien, là. T'sais, eux autres, ils savaient. Mais ils parlaient pas. Dans le temps, c'était ça. Quand c'est un affaire dans la tête, si c'était dit, c'est de ça avec une balle dans la tête. C'est continuel. Tu te lèves le matin, tu regardes partout, ça va bien. Ensuite, tu mets le pied à terre, ça repart. C'est pas bien, tu as mal au cœur, puis tu shakes, là, parce que tu sais que c'est pas toi. Aujourd'hui, je shake plus. Il n'y a plus une balle de cœur, je suis normal. Mais enduré ça 52 ans.
Katie was also a victim of silence. It takes a lot of courage to come back in this little village, especially when everyone saw you growing up. I'm so glad to be here in Berlin to meet Inns.
Nice to meet you, finally.
Yeah, you've been here before, right? Yeah. And you too?
First time.
First time. But you have family in Germany.
I'm joining Intersex militant at the Medical Surgeon Congress.
This is so nice to meet you. So happy. Hello, nice to meet you.
Ich habe eine Banane dabei.
Hi, I'm Sunny.
Hi, I'm Nella. Hi. Hello, nice to meet you.
It's very hard to look at these pictures. Even more to realize that those mutilation on intersex kids still happening today. Mutilation also means desensitize.
Ich muss halt jetzt gleich auf den Männchen. Ja, das ist das, was ich immer sage. Le but, c'est de... Ils ont leur congrès, ils sont ensemble, ils vont manger ensemble. Nous, on est ici et on les rappelle qu'on n'est pas d'accord avec ces mutilations intersexes. Il y a un groupe de chirurgiens pédiatriques qui font ces opérations.
Spécialisés.
Oui, qui font ces opérations sur les intersexes.
Toujours, il y en a des autres docteurs qui viennent chez nous et disent c'est bien que vous êtes ici, je suis d'accord avec vous.
Ah, oui, OK.
Eine Diskussion, über dass man das auch kontrovers sehen kann, ne? Was sie den Eltern raten. Ne?
Ziehen bestimmt nicht so viel.
absolut nicht.
Nee, aber gesellschaftlich, glaube ich, passiert da jetzt langsam schon was. Also,
Ja.
wir sind inzwischen so viele, man kann das nicht mehr einfach so ignorieren, glaube
Ja.
ich. Und vor 2 Jahren hat auch hier der Deutsche Ethikrat oder im letzten Jahr auch die Schweizer Ethikkommission haben sich auch mit dem Thema befasst.
Und, aus unserer Sicht ist es einfach auch ein Menschenrechtsproblem schlussendlich.
Ja gut, dann wünsche ich Ihnen viel Erfolg, dass das so ein bisschen mehr diskutiert wird auch. Ich meine, für die, die es betrifft und natürlich letztendlich. Okay.
Schönen Tag.
Ja, vielen Dank. Wiedersehen.
Inns is an intersex activist and also my favorite artist.
Whoa. Wow.
Magical poem. Yeah, that's this is like the third one of a series that I made with these Prada bags. But because of the name Prada, Prada sounds like Prada, the doctor, the Swiss pediatrician who they named this Prada scale after, you know. And they still use that in medicine to define genital shapes, you know, like this is a Prada 3, which is unacceptable. Prada 6 would be, Prada 6 and Prada 0 are non-existent. Prada 0 would be a woman, Prada 6 would be a man. So everything from Prada 1 through 5 is considered not acceptable and intersex. Well, in my story, it's like that I belong to the few ones that I think now are even rarer, that wasn't discovered by medicine until I was in my puberty. So when I was born, everyone thought, oh yeah, it's just a baby girl, and we raise it as a girl. And just when I became, like, when I was 12, my body started to change in a way that wasn't expected for a girl. Then when I was 14 or 15, I started growing a beard. When I was 14, I was already very, very tall. So I was 17 when I decided myself to go to a doctor to see what's going on. And that doctor then was still very open with me and said, oh, you know, there was a mistake and you should have been a boy, or you should have become a boy. And of course I was then a little freaked out. But I was more freaked out by the way the doctor was handling it. A very interesting specimen. I'm not a person anymore. I'm just something else.
That talks guinea pig as we are subject to.
Exactly. So I really felt like an alien or like a monster. I was asked politely to undress and stand in front of this wall with this medical grid. Because we're going to take some pictures now. In that situation, you don't feel like you can say why or no, I don't want to. So that was like so traumatic and so horrible. They told me was that, you know, I have to have surgery and to prevent cancer, because if I don't have the surgery within the next year, you know, I might as well, you know, die of cancer. You know, I felt that this wasn't the truth. Then I was 18 and I underwent this surgery. And before I had the surgery, I was talking to the surgeon, which was also like the head of the department of that hospital. And he asked me several times also if, you know, because I look different down there, and he asked me, like, do you also want me to, you know, take off some of this, you know? And I asked, okay, is there a reason for it? Is this like, do I get cancer there? No, it's just, you know, it's a little too big or too long or too whatever. And I said, no, then I don't want the surgery there. And he asked me 3 times, you know, and I always had to say, no.
You know, I want to get a tattoo in Berlin.
Yeah.
And I wish, you could say no, but I wish to buy a painting of yours to have it on me.
Wow.
That will be because you're one of my favorite artists, to be honest. And I wish to have this tagged on me if I have time later on.
That's commitment. Wow, that's awesome.
Not here, but somewhere.
Yeah, you can already see the park in the horizon.
Oh, nice.
This is my yard.
This is your yard?
Yeah.
Wow. Quite a yard you have.
Yeah, it's also called the Big Berlin Freedom.
ratio historically is 40 times, so it does look expensive. And for a number of savvy investors, they probably park their cash with the likes of ShopRite or
Ned Bisang has an incredible wisdom and is also an intersex activist in South Africa.
Intersex has always been there for thousands of years, since humans, started to procreate and started to recreate. Genetics, weren't always mixing according to this little binary of sex that we think it is, There's always been variation. I was not born in a hospital, I was born at home by midwives. What she told me is that when I was born, the midwives in the room kept quiet. Everybody was shocked, And she asked them what is going on. And they said, oh, we don't know what this is, because they were quite confused. Is this a girl or is it a boy? And my mother said after that, she felt so much shame, having given birth to an intersex child, she felt so much shame. But then growing up, she told me that she doesn't want me to feel the same shame that she felt at that time. Afterwards, she says, after a few months, she went to a doctor, and the doctor told her that this is an intersex child. They didn't use the word intersex, they used the word hermaphrodite. And they said, this is a hermaphrodite. We have to do surgery on it. And you should understand that it was in the 80s in South Africa where medicine wasn't as advanced, And my mother was so scared because in our little unadvanced medical communities in South Africa, whenever somebody went for surgery in those days, they'd probably die in hospital. So my mother had that fear that, no, if my child goes to hospital and gets surgery, she might not come back. I always say that my mother did not have knowledge on intersex, but she had wisdom. You know what I mean? She had that internal wisdom to understand that I'm not sick, first of all. I mean, I didn't have any health complications from being intersex, I didn't need to go to a doctor just because I was intersex. And my mother understood that she's not sick, she is different. And she kept telling me that you are different. And she said that, not everybody's going to understand you being different. Some people will hate you for being different. Some people will treat you badly because you're different. But being different does not mean you are wrong. Being different is a good thing. I was raised with that. I was a very confident child. I did a lot of sports. I did debating, I did drama, I did poetry because I was confident. I was raised with love. And so I went through my teenage years practically very angry at my mother that she didn't want surgery because I thought surgery would be this great thing, that I would go to an operating room and I would come out and life would be great afterwards. That's what I thought. And it's only when in my early 20s, when I met other intersex people who had surgery and realized that surgery had messed their life up. They were the most traumatized group of people I've ever met in my entire life, I loved my mother again. I was thankful. I was like, thank you for this woman that she refused for any of this to happen to me. I didn't really notice that me being out and me being in the media could affect my family. My family told me that their friends and the community, was saying bad things at them as the family with a weird child. That's my grandmother, and that's my niece. Yeah, it's my aunt, and over there is my uncle. My uncle, this uncle, he sent me an SMS and he said, I don't care what people say, we are here for you. And this wonderful, handsome young man over here is Kamo, my little brother. Yeah. And this is my family. Yeah. Even though my mother said you are special, she still said to me, don't undress in front of other people. You know what I mean? Because people will be shocked and they might do something bad to you. Actually, we used to call it our secret, my mother and I. And my father didn't know, that I'm intersex. He only found out when I was 13 years, when we went to the doctor, and the doctor said, no, turn this into a boy. That's when my father found out. So for 13 years, my father had no idea that this child is intersex, believe it or not. So when my father found out, things just went sour in the house. My father started saying, no, this is not my child. I could never, have a child like this. And it was very hard for my mother. I could see that it was impacting her, it was impacting her marriage, that she was loving an intersex child. She was raising me in a positive way and wanting to protect me from all this. But at the same time, she was suffering, from how society was treating her.
Oh my God.
Well, growing up, even though my mother was very positive, she was not a religious person. We didn't go to church growing up. We didn't. But when I got to university and I had trouble, really navigating the world, because I come from this rural background, and here I was in the city in Johannesburg and at University of Witwatersrand, Wits University in the city, and it was a culture shock for me. And I was prepared that I will live a lonely life. I said, I am prepared to live a lonely life because I don't think anybody in this world would love somebody like me. So I had major psychological problems. And for a person from my background, the church is the first place that you run to. So I told the church that, you know what, I'm intersex. And the church said, they took a long time to decide. They're like, oh my word, what is this? God created man and woman. He never created anything in between. And they told me after a while that you can be intersex, it's fine, but don't tell anyone in the church. And I said, but I'm coming to you because I want to tell everyone. Then after that, I fell in love with one of the sisters. We call them sisters at church. We fell in love with them, and I told them, I'm in love with this girl in the church. And they're like, First of all, you came here, you told us you're intersex, and now you're in love with a woman. That we will not accept. What you're bringing into the church is just wrong, so you have to leave. The same thing happened in sports. I grew up loving sports. I was very athletic. I was very, very athletic. And I was doing well. I was doing well all the time, getting all these gold medals and the likes. And when I got to 9th grade as well, and, I was a bit masculine compared to other girls because I was quite a tomboy. And every time, when you're about to start running, and, you're flexing, you're stretching your muscles, the other parents would come to my coach and say, we don't think that's a girl, and we don't want our girls running with that thing. That's another thing, when I was called a thing. And I understood from a young age that people don't like what I am because I was not human anymore. I was a thing. When my mother gave birth to Kamokhelo, to my little brother, all the women in the township were making fun at my mother, saying, whoa, you're so old, but here you are having a child. And she kept telling them, like, hey, no, that's not my child, that's Ntabiseng's child. We knew that by then that I wouldn't be able to have children. So my mother always made a joke about us, like, you see, this is my gift to you. I gave you a child because I know you can't have your own. So we always joked about it. And last year she passed away. And I remember the day when she passed away, I went to see her in the hospital, and she said, I don't know what's happening with me, and I don't know if I'll still be around tomorrow, but I would like you to take care of Kamokhelo. Take care of Kamo. And I told her, no, you'll be fine. You're stressing, just relax. It's cool. And then the next day, I got a call that she'd passed away. And the first thing that came into my mind was like, oh my word. The last thing she told me was take care of Kamo. The only thing I can do is to raise Kamokhelo in exactly the same way that she raised me. And that was my That's my goal in life. I want him to be as loved as I was.
I just love her for who she is. So the rest is just, you know.
And did you know about the intersex?
No, I didn't. I had no idea, you know. As I'm saying, like, we're sometimes ignorant to things that don't happen around us. So I really didn't know. But then when she explained it to me, I understood. And it was just one of those, like, oh, okay, not a big deal. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she knows I still have body issues. You know, I still have major body issues with being nude around her. But she makes me feel comfortable, you know. She's like, oh, relax. It's not a big deal, you know, gotta get over it, kind of thing. Which feels good, you know, to have somebody that really brings you back to reality that this is not a big deal. Stop overthinking it, you know. So it's great to have her around. The support is great. Because I remember the first time she found out was we were intimate, you know, we were kissing. And she didn't know, and I'm like, okay. So while we're kissing, I'm like, should I tell her? Should I not tell her? Should I tell her? Should I not tell her? And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell her. And then I just told her, and I thought she'll stop kissing and say, no, I'm leaving. I don't want to do this anymore. And she didn't. She's like, okay, cool. It's no problem. And we just continued kissing. And I was shocked. I was like, wow, great.
I think it just adds to who she is. It doesn't take anything away from her. So, I mean, I'm okay with that.
What's that song?
I don't know.
I discovered one brave and courageous activist here in Taiwan, Hiker Chiu, the first one to bring out the topic to the Chinese community by doing conference workshop on intersex awareness.
I think it's hard for me to have a heterosexual relationship because I look like a boy. So a heterosexual boy would not see me, you know. So it's kind of difficult for me to find someone to love or to find someone who can love me. And it just happened by accident when I graduated from high school. This person is a girl. And homosexual become an issue in my life. And after I graduated my university, I started to find other lesbian because I was raised as a girl. So I still identify myself as a girl. So I choose to go to lesbian community.
Wayne, where are we going?
Take a walk in the gay bar area in Taipei. And I had a relationship with for 10 years. After 10 years, she wanted to break up with me. And there are so many reasons. And only one reason hit me immediately. She said, "You are too much like a boy." Suddenly, I couldn't find a place in this world. There's a sentence came out. Yeah, that is, are you a boy or girl? I have to answer this question thousands of times in my life. In 2010, I have a chance to go to US. This trip changed me a lot because I see the first intersex people in my life. Immediately, when we met, we can just talk like a old friend, you know. It's an amazing experience for me. After I came back from US, I was a totally different person, and I want to be seen, not like before. Because in the past, when I went to the restroom, you know, it's difficult because I will be seen as a boy and then run into a woman's restroom and will be kicked out by somebody, you know, and it's a nervous experience for me. Should I? No. Just pretend. Just pretend. For a while. And also there's an important thing that is, I came out publicly, and I finally feel I should declare that I am the founder of OII Chinese. I give myself a label, and I am the founder.
Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
Like, come on. Get in. I have a secret group on internet for my intersex friend in China. It's a very big fear for them to come out. This pressure from the society is very huge. It's kind of dangerous, and I cannot take the risk to let them come out without any preparation. Many people here still doesn't understand many about intersex people. It seems that it's my responsibility to create for ourselves. I study here for my PhD on human sexuality. In searching for intersex people, because they are my focus on my PhD. There's no knowledge about intersex. It's very hard for us to learn ourselves and to be accepted. And the most important, to be loved also. I want to know what kind of intersex condition am I, because it seems that I find nowadays intersex people has been divided into different syndromes. And they have different support groups categorized by syndrome. And I want to know which one. And I take this to a new doctor, and he checked for me. Okay. And it was a surprise because I have something different. And I thought, I look so much like a boy. I must have a Y chromosome, but I do not. I even have triple X chromosome. It seems that I am a superwoman. I'm completely female. If you see me as a female, the testosterone is too high. if you see me as a boy, it's
not enough.
Yes, it's enough. It's a normal male. So the doctor tell me, and don't worry, you don't have to take any medicine because you're healthy. Only you need is this. That's.
This is your prescription. He gave it to you.
Yes, it has been approved by medication. Happiness is the best medication. It has been proved, and to laugh louder would improve your ability to not to catch cold, fever, something like that, to improve your energy. So I don't know how to translate that. It's a nature happiness pill.
Okay.
And without any side effect. You can learn it immediately. So you only have to learn ha, 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 ha. And that's my prescription. He's beautiful. Good.
What kind of plantation?
Beautiful orchid, all of them.
Oh, it's orchid.
Orchid.
Ça sent tellement bon, le bois. Moi, j'adore ça. L'odeur, là, de...
Ah, tu peux t'en emmener, ramasser vrai en ville.
Il y en a qui se ramènent du sable. Moi, je vais me ramener du...
I love diversity. It's so nice. Each time we get in touch with each other, we get wisdom. You, me, we are connected as a whole. And that's how I experience my whole year.
Est-ce que c'était la première personne que tu as rencontrée?
C'est la première personne intersexe que j'ai rencontrée par ton entremise. Hier, on a discuté à peu près 3 heures de temps, là, puis on s'est retrouvés tous les deux. Ça, c'est une chose que ça fait du bien hier. On a vécu les mêmes affaires, on a vécu la même rage. Au moins, je suis plus tout seul. Au moins, tu sais, je peux dire, au moins, Christophe, il y a du monde avec moi, là. Tu sais, on n'est pas des monstres.
Caddy is adorable. She is very flamboyant now in her little village. She had the courage to stood up for herself and become who she wants to be. She decided to live instead of commit suicide.
Tu parlais que tu t'étais acheté de nouveau une moto.
Oui, j'ai fait, dans le passé, j'ai fait 250 000 km pour que cette foutue maladie-là me lâche, sans savoir que j'étais XXY, ça, je ne savais pas. C'est une qui m'avait dit, si tu fais de la moto, tu oublies tous tes problèmes. 250 000 km plus tard, au bout de 6 ans, c'était encore là. Je suis revenu, j'ai pris de la moto, j'ai foutu ça dans le garage, j'ai pas touché à ça pendant 4 ans. Aujourd'hui, je fais de la moto, c'est moi qui fais de la moto. L'autre est décédé, il est mort. C'est moi qui en fais aujourd'hui. Je respire au moins, je revis des affaires que je ne vivais pas avant. C'est du fun. J'étais avec mes amis de filles, des Ping des Days. On ride, on a du fun. Au moins, je vis.
Tu sais, c'est ce projet-là.
This project gave me the chance to travel around the world, to meet other wonderful intersex folks like me.
À la rencontre de gens comme moi. Puis
It was
ça,
not
c'était
expected.
inespéré. Puis en même temps, ça m'a permis de...
I also realized that wherever you are located, where you're living on the planet, being intersex is very similar to all of us.
Chacun d'entre nous. Je croyais qu'il allait avoir des grosses
I thought there will be
nuances,
a huge difference, but I came to the conclusion that it's just difficult to be who we are.
C'est difficile partout d'être qui on est.
J'ai pu avoir la chance de te voir là, en 1 an là, de distance. Puis je te trouve super belle puis heureuse. Je suis vraiment contente.
C'est moi qui te remercie parce que j'ai hésité avant de le faire. Aujourd'hui, bon, c'est fini, tout ça, tout ça, mais je suis content de l'avoir fait. L'avoir passé à travers. Ça a été dur, c'était plus carré, mais j'ai passé à travers.
Oui.
Merci. Merci beaucoup.
Es-tu un gros câlin? C'est fini.
En fait, c'est fini.
C'est fini.